everyone. Hope that we are being kind of received. Maybe somebody could send a quick message in the chat if the sound and the video are okay. That would be helpful.
Got a confirmation.
Okay, very good. Okay, so we'll begin. This is our Friday morning kind of chat, and do a quick reflection, and then I'll open it up for some questions. I think one of the things that comes to mind is just to maybe pursue the theme that I brought up on Tuesday night at Yoga Samadhi, on just in terms of meditation and our like one-pointing the mind, unification of mind. I like as a term better than one-pointedness of mind. This in the Pali ekakata citta, the mind being brought to one, and that sense of bringing the mind together is really an important aspect to be reflecting on, because of course the mind easily gets scattered, and that's what that reflection on the teaching that the Buddha gives on the five hindrances are these things that are hindrances, obstacles to the mind being settled: sense desire, ill will, sloth and torpor, restlessness, worry, doubt, and uncertainty. These are skeptical doubt. These are objects of mind that the mind goes off to and gets scattered into, and it's unsettling. So that to be bringing the mind to a place of settling is really important, and that tendency to assume that, okay, it's one-pointed, I've got to bring my mind to one single point and to not have it move from that point in order for me to be a successful meditator and to be one who is concentrated, has samadhi. I think it's good to say reflect on, review that assumption. There's a very good series of questions and answers, actually, on many aspects of the Dhamma in the Majjhima Nikaya, Majjhima 44, the Bhikkhuni Dhammadina, and but she is asked, what is concentration? What is samadhi? What's right samadhi? And she says, yeah, unification of mind is samadhi. So that, but then she qualifies it by saying that the themes for that unification are the four foundations of mindfulness. So themes are the basis. So that the four foundations of mindfulness: body, feeling, mind, objects of mind. These are the themes, the basis that one unifies the mind around, so that you've got an array of mm, 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 things to attend to that still allow the mind to be unified, and to be able to use those objects of attention as themes are really helpful. Because one of the things that happens when we take, rather than taking, say, the meditation as a, okay, I need to get my mind concentrated and one-pointed. It's more like, well, I just need to be attentive to the basis of experience. And the basis of experience are the experience of the body, of the feeling tone, of the different moods of the mind, the different ways, all of the different qualities of mind. So that, and that is it's not personal. And so then it's not an achievement, it's not a gaining, it's just a recognition. So that one can rest in the awareness that recognizes these different elements of experience. And those are, these are the themes of concentration, the basis of concentration as the four foundations of mindfulness. And particularly as we keep returning to those four foundations of mindfulness, what is becomes kind of obvious is these are, they're changing, they're impermanent. And these are just elements of nature. They're not me, they're not mine. They're not sort of like based on some kind of I agenda. They're just elements of nature. So that's very, very settling. And that unifying the mind with those themes of truth according to nature becomes very settling, very satisfying. Another aspect that the Bhikkhuni Dhammadina points to as the kind of the equipment or the requisites of samadhi, of concentration, are the four right efforts. And this is and so that, say, unification of mind is samadhi. Four foundations of mindfulness are the themes, the basis. Four right efforts are its equipment or its requisites. And so that one is needing to tune into the quality of effort or attention or energy that one is bringing to that moment, and again, not as a me striving to be effortful, but the four right efforts are all around the quality of the mind itself, in terms of, say, whatever effort that is for the say the relinquishment or letting go of unwholesome mental qualities that have arisen is a right effort, or the effort that is for the preventing of unwholesome qualities that have yet to arise, preventing them to arise, is right effort. The effort that is for the bringing into being of wholesome qualities of mind, this kusala, akusala quality, the wholesome, skillful qualities of mind, bringing those skillful qualities into being is right effort, and then the effort to whatever effort there is to maintain the wholesome qualities that have already arisen is right effort. So it's this the effort is tuning into the quality of the mind, the balance of the mind, the well-being and clarity of the mind, and of course that again is an opportunity to let go of, to not get entangled in the whole kind of me agenda, me needing to acquire, to gain my samadhi or my one-pointedness of mind, or to hang on to it for dear life, or that there I've gone and failed again. I lost that moment of one-pointedness. I'm obviously a failure. So that is an opportunity to relinquish. Just again looking at it in terms of what's skillful, what's beneficial, what's wholesome, what's not so useful, what's not so beneficial. How can I let go of that? And attending to that balance of mind and heart. And so that as one attends to that is the cultivation of samadhi. And the Buddha says in many places, the happy mind is easily concentrated. And again, it's not the happiness of say sensuality or of some kind of self-aggrandizement, but it's more the happiness of dwelling in kusala dhammas, dwelling in the wholesome. Also, they say another aspect of, say, one-pointedness of mind or unification of mind. In another discourse, the Buddha kind of elucidates on what is, say, right concentration, right samma samadhi, and say, whatever one-pointedness that is comprised of, say, or whatever concentration, whatever one-pointedness, it is one-pointedness of mind, or unification of mind, whatever unification of mind, that is based on all the other factors of the Eightfold Path is right concentration. So it's not. It is taking into account or being built upon these different factors that we need to be balancing and attuning. Right view, right intention, right speech, right action, right livelihood, right effort, right mindfulness, right concentration. The whole path is brought into being, and that's a helpful perspective, because sometimes our meditation gets isolated from the rest of our being and the rest of our life. So it's an important quality to be recollecting or reflecting on, because it's not it's not that reductionist of, I'm just going to meditate. Meditation from a Buddhist perspective is a whole body-mind endeavor, so that to be able to start to say maybe broaden one's scopes, even when one thinks of unification and one-pointedness, as so often when we think of it, it's more like a narrowing, and start to consider broadening the perspective. And as there's a settling and an ease, there is a unification that isn't arguing with itself or isn't in conflict with itself. It's very easeful and settled. So those are some reflections on, say, on meditation, and to open it up for questions, if anybody has any questions.
There is a question that's appeared. Do you want me to read them out, or do you want to read them yourself?
Let's see. Do you have to think about what to do with your life as a monk? Or do elder monks tell you what to do? It's tough to know what to do with our lives. What project to work on when not meditating? Well, you could always breathe. There's so. It's there's whole realms of our life that are one, in terms of on a certain level, it's all meditation, in that we have to bring awareness to it, and we do need to pay attention to, okay, what are my responsibilities and duties, relationships with others. Certainly, say as a monk, then there are certain relationships and duties that we build within the community or within from our teachers, but it's not, and we definitely try to say to be checking in, but that's more like a relationship of kalyanamitta as opposed to waiting to be told what to do and then doing it. It's more and engaging skillfully with others, and then recognizing, well, what are the different responsibilities that may have, and say even as monks we have various relationships and responsibilities with each other within the community and with our extended communities, with the lay community, and one puts one's effort and attention into, a lot of it is just trying to be useful, and then having the time, trying to balance the communal aspect of our life with the individual and personal, so that we do have personal time for study, for meditation, or for whatever projects we need to be looking after the things around us, so that just attending to the reality of where we live needs to be kept clean and needs to be repaired and patched, and all of that is it can be seen as an impingement or a burden, or which makes it kind of miserable, or it can be seen as an opportunity of looking after the things in our life and doing it with a certain generosity of spirit and mindfulness and reflection as with whatever we're doing. And that's whether it's physical things or the various human beings around us. That's just attending to it. That is a part of human life. Can you see? Yeah.
Yeah. Just a quick add-on to that. That one of the things I remember from a long time ago, before I was a monk, was attending a retreat by Ruth Dennison, very well-known Dhamma teacher who passed away a few years ago. And anyway, one of the things I remember is that she would pass out pictures of herself for students, and embedded on the photo itself that people were instructed to put up somewhere in their house was it was a stark picture of her kind of looking directly at them and saying, "What are you doing?" And just to emphasize that the whole, however we choose to spend our day, to bring that quality of mindfulness and alertness and clear comprehension to whatever we're doing, so that we can see for ourselves the effect in any moment in our mind of the actions that we're taking on, and that kind of self-awareness of what are the effects of what I'm doing. Are they increasing wholesome states, or is it increasing unwholesome states? That kind of alertness and clear comprehension as to the effects of whatever it is that we choose to do. That's what mindfulness in daily life, I think seems to point to when people talk about how do I be mindful in daily life. It's watching, being very clearly aware of the effects that your actions are having on your mind, bringing wholesome states or unwholesome states into being. So that's, you don't have to program every minute of your life all the time, but just program yourself to kind of be aware of the effects on your mind about what it is that you are engaging in.
Okay. Do you want to see what the
next question?
Yeah.
Gosh, we had so many comments coming in. I might need to scroll back.
Scroll back a bit.
I'm not sure if we missed one. Why is that not scrolling? There we go. Nope, not really. Oh, okay, there's one. How can we observe things like itching or feeling hurt in terms of satipatthana? Is itching just unpleasant feeling? Is feeling hurt an unpleasant feeling? Or is it mind with dosa?
Yeah, I mean, itching is it's just an unpleasant feeling. I mean, it can be just seeing that in terms of the Vedana. This is unpleasant, and feeling hurt tends to be. I mean, it's definitely an unpleasant feeling, but then there's the emotional tone on top of it. With with itching, it's just physiological. Of course, you can complicate it if you wish, but it's fundamentally just the it's an unpleasant feeling, and then it's feeling hurt tends to be certainly on a feeling tone. It's unpleasant, but then there is a mood of, I mean, that's where there could be aversion, It could be, a certain sense of, I'd just say, because of maybe like the confusion, which is a moha root. So that it could be seen, because in that mindfulness and satipatthana, the jittanupassana satipatthana, the mindfulness of the mind, it's looking at the different roots of mental states, and knowing them as that, and without having to go into kind of too deeply into an analysis of it, but it's more like seeing it a bit more fundamentally. Oh, this mood or this feeling or this mental state has its root in a certain quality of mind, and whether it's say greed or non-greed, or aversion or non-aversion, delusion, non-delusion. Those are aspects of being able to look at it in that way. But it's one of the bases of satipatthana is to try to bring things back to a simple foundation, so that we don't get too entangled in the identity that's so easily built up around that.
Okay. Another question. What is meant by one-pointed meditation? Are Brahmaviharas one-pointed meditations? Thank you.
Well, I mean, that was the say the theme of the day, really, of reflecting on what that word, what was translated as one-pointed meditation is say from the Pali ekakata citta, the mind, or one-pointedness of mind. But it's just as, and to me, better translated as unification of mind, and also that the what kind of point are we talking about? And certainly the Brahmaviharas are meditations that the Buddha recommends, advises, encourages, and because they do, again, particularly beginning with metta bhavana, the loving kindness meditation. It's a doorway into well-being, and that well-being is a really good bridge to settling. And so that as we use the Brahmaviharas and particularly the loving kindness meditation, there is and one can either use it on its own or use it in conjunction with the breath. But it's a really important bridge to ease, and it's that ease that allows the mind to be content with its object of attention, and whether the object of attention is, say, like an external one, like touch, or object of attention as the quality of awareness itself. That is that ease, and it's so the mind is able to unify and to You be content with its being there. And so that's, I think when I think of one-pointed, I would expand the understanding or of assumption of what kind of point you're looking at. It's like if you're trying to put all of your attention on the point of a needle, that's kind of, I don't know if that's a good it's pretty cramped on that how many Devas can be on the pin of it. It's the old Christian image, but that sense of the expanding the what we consider as a point, because it's more of a point of unification. There's that sense, and the breath, wherever it doesn't have to be honed down to the teeniest little tip of the nose bit. It's wherever we are experiencing the breath, and to be able to be at ease with it, and to not and to be content with that. That's where the mind settles. That's where, say, that sense of samadhi, that settled quality of mind, is facilitated in establishing itself.
Yeah, just to kind of add on to that, I think the way that these terms have come to be used and understood in the West, through some different meditation teachings and different schools, different traditions, has had a strong basis in the commentarial tradition, particularly, say, in the Visuddhimagga, where the terms are translated. You hear a lot about, say, like one-pointed concentration as the translation, and then techniques are developed to create that kind of state of mind, such as that, as Luang Por was referring to, that like very narrow concentration on a very small object, like the breathing, the breath going in and out at the tip of the nose. It just, there's a different alternative way of looking at it that Luang Por was talking about, that is much more experienced and taught, say, in the forest traditions of meditation, Thai forest tradition. The masters from Thailand, our teachers, as well as maybe has a strong basis in the suttas. It's not to diss the commentaries, and that kind of very one-pointed concentration on a very narrow point of object, a narrow point of concentration, is something that some people do get some benefit from, and can develop strong states of that kind of intense focus, narrow focus. But in terms of many of our teachers and the what seems to be a broader interpretation in the suttas, that is very, very limiting, as Luang Por was saying, and it doesn't accommodate for things like the Brahma Viharas, which are anything but narrow. The description of the Brahma Viharas is boundless states of mind, not focused on one tiny little place in the body. And those are certainly considered to be, very wonderful states of samadhi when fully developed. So unification, as Luang Por was pointed out, is kind of a lot more friendly and inclusive than say, one-pointed. Another couple of words that I found very useful in terms of creating a different space in the mind, or a different ease in the mind, instead of, say, one-pointed concentration, would be using the word unwavering instead of one-pointed. unwavering. And instead of concentration, which we all have our kind of connotations embedded in us of being, like really intense on one tiny little place, the word like composure or collectedness, so that we have unwavering composure, which has a whole different feel than one-pointed concentration. And so if you can compose your mind around many different broad-based things like the Brahma Viharas as an example, or the body as a whole, the entire breathing body, and the mind, again, as Long Paul was pointing out, it becomes so happy with that and so settled with that its natural tendency is to just stay with it, because why would you want to be anywhere else? And rather than having to force your attention on something and exclude the rest of the world, you're being much more inclusive and just settling with something that's simple and very nourishing. So unwavering composure to me rings a nice bell, or unwavering collectedness rather than one-pointed concentration.
Yeah, it's a great alternative, because yes, language is so important. Okay, it really conditions how we respond or how we feel about things. So that just finding the language that is helpful to support us in our aspiration.
Okay, there's another question here. Still got 5 minutes.
Yeah.
I'm about to start a 6-week stay at Amaravati, my longest stay yet. Do the Ajahns have any advice for me or stories of their early monastery visits?
Well, great opportunity for you to spend time at Amaravati. I think probably the best advice is just to go and be open, enjoy it. Don't have too many expectations, too many ideas of what it might be, should be, would have been if only. It's just to be there and learn from the experience, and just that again, that not having a whole lot of expectations or ideas. There's no such thing as a perfect monastery. So if you're thinking that you're going to the perfect monastery, wherever it is, Amaravati, Abhayagiri, Wat Nanachan, Wat Papong, wherever, those are they're a collection of human beings living together, practicing the Dhamma, and practicing the Dhamma with other human beings is a variable experience. So there's going to be experiences while you're there, 6 weeks, that you'll enjoy. There's other things that you might not enjoy so much, but just to take it all in terms of, well, what can I learn from? How can I use this to increase my understanding of Dhamma and my ability? Because certainly that's stories of early monastery visits. I mean, I had all sorts of ideas of what, when I first went to live with Ajahn Chah, I was both inspired and amazed and astounded and frustrated and irritated and discouraged. And that was the first day, so it's just to be be ready to take the opportunity to learn and pay attention, draw close to people. One of the things of being in a monastery is that yes, there's time for meditation and actually, I don't know what it's like during COVID at Amaravati, but there's time for the community meetings, but there's also times for interaction and engagement and work projects. Just draw close to people, learn from others as well, exchange experience, and make it into an easeful endeavor.
Just to add on to that in this last minute we've got here, before I was a monk, I spent 2 months during a winter retreat at Amaravati. And that was my first long-term stay. And my advice from that was bring lots of warm clothes. It was different those days. That was quite a few years ago. And I think the accommodations were quite a bit spiffed. But it was, I basically found that I was wearing everything that I brought with me all throughout the day and night. And it's also the summer now, so it's probably not quite so. But no, just to add to Lungpa, I think the thing that I enjoyed the most during that 2 months, in addition, of course, to having time to practice and learn from the teachers there, was just throwing myself into the community and, basically going in with the attitude of how can I help? What can I do to help you here? And some of the fondest memories I have were spending hours in the kitchen, and this is a layman, of course, cooking and offering meal and putting my heart into just what I could to offer to the community, and that brought lots of joy.
Yeah. I mean, see, that's again expanding the idea of what we think of kind of meditation practice into the whole realm of right effort, and so that effort to just be helpful, pay attention to the needs of others, and it's not about me getting my meditation right. I got 6 weeks to get my meditation right. It's just enjoy the time, help out, learn to be of service to others, and of course in that way one is being of service to oneself. Okay, so it is time to close this session, and we'll end the stream. Be well, everyone.
Mm-hmm.